Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will walk you through some important concepts of C# programming. Here is the list. Today we will learn what are keywords, variables, identifiers in C#, what is the purpose of these, how we can use these, and along with the literals, constants, where keywords in C#, what is variable initialization and declaration in C#, how we can use these, what is typecasting, type conversion in C#, what is boxing and unboxing, what is this concept. So let's begin. The first topic is keywords in C#. Keywords are reserved words in C# used by the compiler. You cannot use them as identifier names for variables and classes. Keywords are like reserved words. We cannot use these as a simple or as a variable into, if we define, suppose int age is equal to 10, and age instead of age we cannot write like string or like these kind of reserved words we cannot use as variables. So this is the rule of you can say of C# programming, and the compiler will gives us the error if we use them as a variable. Here are some keywords like int, float, class, public, static, void, if else, return, new, try catch. Here you can see the example. We have integer age is equal to 25. Here int string is the keywords. These are keywords or by default created in C# programming. We cannot use as variables like instead of age or name. We cannot use these here. This is the main rule of this one. We are displaying name and age with this example. Suppose if we want to use keywords as variables, then this will give us an error that class is a keyword or reserved words. We cannot use that as simple as that. Next one is variables in C#. A variable is a named storage location in memory that holds a value. It must have a data type. A variable is like a container, storage container, where we can store some value or types. This is the main purpose of a variable. This is the syntax of variable, that is data type variable name is equal to value. Data type suppose is this integer, variable name is marks is equal to 90 is value. Marks is a variable name. Variable means where we can actual value is stored along with the type. And here we have float, pi, 3.14f. This one is keyword, and this one is a variable name, and this is a value. As same as in string, city is equal to Delhi, and we are displaying this. Our next topic is identifiers. Identifiers are the names you define for variables, methods, classes. Identifiers are the name of the variable. If suppose we put any variable name, then that variable name is the identifier. We can say that this is the identifier. If we want to use as identifier, we have to follow these rules. It must start with a letter or underscore. If we want to declare any identifier, then it must start with a letter or underscore. This is must. Cannot be a keyword. As I already said that we cannot use reserved keywords as identifiers, and it is case sensitive. And next one is cannot contain spaces or special character. We cannot put any space while declaring identifiers, like total marks. In between we cannot create any space, or it is case sensitive, like total marks. If we want to use this identifier, we have to put this same name because it is case sensitive, otherwise it will give us an error. And here is the valid and invalid scenarios. We have valid scenarios if we start declaring that name with the letter like total marks, and next one is we are using underscore. These are valid signatures, and next one is invalid one if we start this declaring identifier with numbers. So this is invalid. And also in the case of keywords, if we define keyword as a identifier, it will also give us an error, compile time error. Here is the real world scenario. You may be bit confused between variable and identifier because both are holding same value like sugar. Suppose you are storing sugar in a jar. The jar is equal to variable. It holds something. Like variable is holding some values, jar is also holding sugar inside it. So here is it is holding some value in variable and jar is holding sugar. And suppose we put some label on the jar, then that is identifier, name on the jar. It is only using the name. Suppose identifier is only using the variable name which we already declared, and sugar is the identifier, name or label. Sugar is only the identifier, it is only using the name. Int sugar is equal to 5, make sugar a variable, a storage box with the type and value. Here we have one example related with the variable and identifier properly. This one is a keyword as all we know, and sugar is like variable where it stores the actual value along with the type. So this variable name is used by the identifier, so where we can call this identifier name. So this one is a good example of, and here we cleared our doubt of variable and identifier. This one is our last lecture code, just to delete it. Now we will discuss about keywords, variables, identifiers. Suppose we have a integer keyword and we declare it as a number is equal to 10. We have int, that is a keyword as all we know, and number is like a variable where it stores some value, where it store some value with type. So that is the variable, and the variable name is used by identifiers, so that is identifier. Variable name is used by identifiers. So here we can see that this name is used by the identifier, so that is identifier. Same in the case of string. If we want to put some data into the variable like programming, so this one is the variable which is storing the programming data along with the type. So here name is used by identifier, so that is identifier. We can say variable name which is used by identifier, that is identifier. Here we can use boolean, all we can use in the same manner, like a keyword, variable, identifier along with the values. So we understand this concept of keywords, identifier and variables. Next one we have a literals in CSharp. Literals are constant values assigned to variables. They are the actual values written in code. Literals are like constant values or actual values where we provide some values into our like for example int age is equal to 10. We providing 10 value, so that is a literal. Here we have some examples like integer a is equal to 100, float, char, string, bool. These are the examples of this. These are the literals. 100 is a integer literal, this decimal value is a float literal, this single quotes a is a char literal, high is a string literal, this one is a bool literal. So these are the literals we have, and here are some types like integer literal, floating point, character literal, string literal, boolean literal. So these are the literals. Next one we have a constants in C#. Constants are immutable values assigned using the const keyword. They cannot be changed once assigned. Constant values are immutable, which we cannot change. If we assign on the starting like constant values, we cannot change throughout the program. It will be the same throughout the program. If we want to change this, then we can get compile time error. and if we want to use this constant value, we have to use this keyword, const keyword. We can use that. And here we have the example. Suppose we are using keywords float, we are putting some value into it, and we want to use const keyword. So this value should be same throughout the whole program. We cannot change it. It will give us an compile time error if we want to change this one in between the program. Here we are using integer and const values. If we want to modify a constant, then it will give us an error, cannot modify a constant. Here if we are changing the value, pi value, first we initialize with 3.14f, then we change this value in between the program, so it will give us an compile time error. Let's first talk about literals. We have boolean value like bool value is equal to true. So here is the point, bool is a keyword, this one is a variable, and the name of the variable name is identifier, and this one is a literal, which is the actual value we are giving this boolean value. So here is the value, and integer, suppose we are putting 10 into this variable, so this one is the literal. And programming, this one is string literal, this one is integer literal, and this one is boolean literal. Next thing, we have a constant value. Suppose if we want to use a const keyword with integer, first we have to assign some digit like 25, and we want to create a constant keyword with this we cannot change this value now, because we put const keyword with integer. Suppose if we want to change it, then it will give us an error. Here you can see we are getting the error. The left hand side of the assignment must be a variable, property, or indexer. So it is giving the compile time error, then that we cannot change it. It is like a fixed value. We put it fixed value like 25 for number one variable. So this is the concept of constant and literals. We cleared this concept, constants. Next one, we have a where keyword. Where lets the compiler automatically detect the data type based on the assigned value. It's still strongly typed. Where keyword, if we want to use this one, we can put any kind of value into it, like integer, string, character, or boolean value. It will accept all kind of values. And one more thing is that it automatically detects the data type which we are storing the data into the where keyword. It automatically get that which data type we are storing into it. Suppose we have an example of where city is equal to Delhi, where A30, where price, this one. We are putting a string value into variable where keyword, and integer value, then float value. It will accept all these values in these variables and automatically detects the data type. So this is the good feature of this where keyword. Must initialize immediately. If we want to use this, we have to initialize on the spot. If we are declaring this where name, we have to give some value, otherwise it will give us some compile time error. Where must be initialized at declaration. We have to initialize on the time of declaration. Variable initialization and declaration. This I already told you that we have to initialize values or declaration time, but not in this case. If we want to use int, string, bool values, we can do that. We can first declare this value, and on the time of initialization, or when we want to put some value, then we can initialize it after declaration. We can do this into integer, string, boolean value. If we want to declare the variable but not want to initialize it while declaring, then do in this way. We can do in this way. Suppose first one is where keyword. suppose we are using int value into like 30. We are giving it some integer value, so it automatically detects that this one is integer data type value. It automatically stores and get that data type. Next one, if we are suppose storing string value, then it can also store this one. It automatically detects that this one is a string type. So this is the good feature of a where keyword. We can put any kind of value into it. And the next one is declaration and initialization. Suppose if we want to initialize int like this, we declare this integer keyword, but we do not initialize it on the spot. We can do this in this case in integer key with integer keyword, string keyword, bool keyword. We can do that. And if we want to initialize its value, we can put some value like this. Initialize its value. We can do in integer with string and other data types, but not in the case of where keyword or not in the case of const keyword, because on the time of declaration we have to put some value in these keywords, otherwise it will give us compile time error. So we are cleared about initialization and declaration of variable along with the const keyword, where keyword. Next one, we have type conversion. Type conversion is converting a value from one data type to another, as I already told you in my last lecture about type conversion. Here are some types like implicit conversion, explicit conversion. Implicit means no data loss. For example, if we are putting some integer value to float value, then it will not affect, it will not remove any data. But if we are using explicit conversion, typecasting with typecasting, possibly data loss and it needs to be cast. Here are the examples. We can see implicit conversion. Suppose we are putting integer value to float value, integer number 100 and float value we are getting number this one, integer value into float value. So it automatically detects and converted and gives the same output as in the integer, but not in the case of explicit. Suppose we are putting float value, decimal value to integer. In this case it will only accept before dot value and put that into integer value. After dot it will remove all these digits. You can see that we are typecasting the float value into integer and it will only accept 3. It will delete these values after dot, like 14f. So this is the explicit, this one is implicit conversion. Typical example, this implicit sit. Suppose we have some integer value, and we are putting this value into float variable. So it will directly get the value without deleting any of the digits. It will get all the values and it will also display this value and store this same value as that in integer. So this is the working of implicit. Next one is explicit. Suppose if we have some value in float, like 3.14 f, we have this one value into decimal value into float, and we want to put this value into integer. Without typecasting it will give us an error. So this is also a scenario of typecasting. We have to convert it into string because we cannot directly put that float value into integer. We have to convert it. So this is the explicit example. As you can see, it will remove this one and only accept 3. If we want to see this into our terminal window, then we can see that explicit value. We can also see the implicit conversion. We can put this one. This one is for implicit and this one is for explicit. Let's see what it displays. Implicit most probably it does not remove any value, but on the case of explicit it will definitely remove the values after decimal. Now we have both values, implicit 55 as it is and explicit it only take 3 digit, 3 number. All other decimal it will it removed from this one. As you can see, this one is explicit, only it get 3, and this implicit as same as that in int. So this is the example of implicit and explicit conversion. Our next topic is boxing and unboxing. Boxing is it is converts a value type to reference type, which I already told you in my last lecture that what is value type and reference type. Value type is that which stores actual value. Reference type is that which stores the reference of the value, not the actual value. And value type is int. Reference type, here we have object. And the next one is unboxing. Unboxing is the opposite of boxing. If we want to convert a reference type into the value type, so that is unboxing. So let's see an example on these topics. First one we have value type, that is integer, and boxing. If we directly put that integer value to object, that is a boxing concept. And if we want to unbox it, then we can typecast this value and we can put this object value to int, but with the typecast only. Without typecasting it will give us an compile time error. So this is boxing if we are putting the value type to reference type, and unboxing is putting back data from reference type to value type, that is unboxing. Unboxing must match a type exactly. Unboxing also match type exactly, as I already told you that if we want to put some data of the integer or float, we have to typecast it properly, otherwise it will throw us an error. Let's see some practical example of boxing and unboxing. Suppose we have integer number 2 is equal to 16, and we want to put this value type to reference type. Then we will create an object. This is the reference, the num2. This one is boxing. This one is the concept of boxing if we are putting value type to reference type. So this is the boxing concept. And if we want to put that reference type again to the integer, then we can do that. Number 3 obj. This one is unboxing. Boxing means reference type to value type. Unboxing is value type to reference type. So here you can see the compile time error, because we are directly putting the object reference value into the value type. So it is not getting that this one is which kind of a data type it is holding. So we have to typecast it if we want to put this value into the integer. So here goes the error. We have to use the typecasting. So here also covers the typecasting topic. This one is typecasting. We are giving them a clue that this one is a integer type which we are storing into the integer, which is already stored in object. So boxing is like converting a value type to reference type, and unboxing is converting back from reference type to value type. So these are the examples of boxing and unboxing. We cleared these two topics with the practical examples. Next one we have summary. So let's revise what we learned today. First one is keywords, that are reserved words which we can use like integer, string, but we cannot use in the variable space. It will give us compile time error if we want to use that reserved words as variable names. And reserved words are integer, class, static, string, bool, like that. Variables are those which stores the actual value or the type, that are the variables. It is like storage containers which holds the value or the data with the type or with the value. And identifiers, on the other hand, identifiers is much related with the variable, but identifiers holds only the name of the variable. Suppose if we put any variable name, then that variable name is used by the identifier, so that is identifiers we can use. Literals are the values. Suppose we have int age is equal to 10 is the literal here, which is the actual value which is storing into that variables, that is literal, which is also a kind of fixed values we can say. Constants, if we talk about constants, that are fixed values. If we want to use that, we have to put that const keyword into any variable like integer, string, like that, then its value will not change throughout the whole program. It will same. If we want to change that, then it will give us compile time error. And where keyword is like where we can put any kind of data into it. It will hold integer, string, boolean, list type, any kind of data it will get. And its main feature is it automatically detects that what kind of data type we are storing into it. Next one is type conversion. Here are two type conversions, that is like typecasting. Implicit conversion, explicit conversion. Implicit means we are putting integer value to float value directly. That is implicit. It is safe and it will not remove any value. But not in the case of explicit. Explicit is like if we are putting decimal value like float value to the integer value, it will definitely remove the after dot value. It will only get the digit before dot, so it may lose data in the explicit conversion. Last but not the least, that is boxing and unboxing. Boxing means converting a value type to reference type. Value type means integer, reference type means object, where we are converting integer, where we are putting some integer value to object value. And unboxing means where we can put the convert the reference value to the value type, so that is unboxing. Like we are putting some object values to integer values, but here we want to know the typecasting, because if we cannot directly put the object value to integer, it will throws us an error, compile time error. So we have to tell that compiler that object value which is stored into it is integer, so we have to do typecasting with integer type conversion. So all the concepts we covered today. Let's wind up today's lecture. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any doubt related with any concept, you can mention them into the comment section. And if we want any specific video on some specific topic, you can also mention that into comment section. Hope you like this video, so you can subscribe my channel, like my videos, and press the bell icon for upcoming videos. Thank you so much. Bye. Have a great smile day.